What's up, everyone? Welcome to North Leeds Jitz podcast. This time we've got a podcast this week. I know that last week we didn't manage to put one out, which I was very disappointed about.
Don't happen often though. You put one out.
Doesn't happen often. Yeah. Joined by Professor Mike, back on the show.
Back
on. And it's just before we break up for our little summer 2-week break, so I thought we could do a bit of reflecting on the last 6 months.
Absolutely.
7 months.
Wednesday today, right?
Yeah, Wednesday
afternoon.
And we can do a little look forward about what's going on for the second half of the year.
Perfect. Yeah, I think we should. I mean, we do this every time, right? Just before the break. Have we done this last time?
I think so.
It's quite a nice thing to wrap up, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think it's like we haven't planned it, but it's just naturally kind of happened, really, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember coming back after Christmas? Do you remember what the first thing we did was?
No.
I had a quick look. We had a seminar with Adissa, actually, which is funny since he's back over this week. Yeah, 3rd of January or 4th of January or something. First session back was the first kind of day back after the winter break was a seminar with Adissa.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Is,
he's here. I think he's in today. I think he's in tonight.
No, perfect.
Which is quite nice. Nice to have him back. I think at that time we were working towards him coming to join us on the coaching team, but that's not realised itself for lots of different reasons, which is a bit of a shame. But we've adapted and overcome and found new ways to keep growing, and we've done that using our own coaches, which one might argue is an even better way to do things. So that's been exciting to see their kind of progress. We
hit a lot of seminars actually in the past.
We did say at one point, I think maybe you like a seminar, but I don't know if I said or you said, let's just do like 4 good ones this year. And I think within 3 months we'd done like 5.
To be fair, they were very good. And we took advantage of some opportunities there. So the first one we did was kind of February, I think, was it, with Kendall.
That was a great seminar too, and Jeremy was there as well.
Yeah. Kendall came over early February and had Jeremy, who ended up coming back and staying with us for a while and did some teaching.
You enjoyed that, right? You kind of he was a bit like a brother kind of.
Yeah, well, me and Jerry were basically living together for a full 2 weeks and just spending literally every day together. So that was really fun. Learned loads from him, and it was just nice to have another, again, just showing that kind of connections that Gracie Baja has, where it's not necessarily, I don't think if just some random kind of person came and I met him once, would I be like, oh, hey, come live at my house for 2 weeks.
Yep.
So just another nod to those people that may be new to the jiu-jitsu community or the academy, that you're going to make some seriously strong connections with people all around the world and fairly quickly.
Why do you think that is? It's got to be something to do with the values, right?
Yeah, especially from Gracie Baja, you kind of that person's
gonna be a good person.
Yeah, they kind of got a little sound check mark next to their name, because we expect because I guess it goes back to that lineage thing, whereas you actually had went to Jeremy's old school, right, and knew some of those kind of his instructors.
I trained in Ottawa at a place called Ottawa Academy of Martial Arts, WAMA it was called. It was a guy called Pat Cooligan who was a black belt under Henzo. Huge man, big fat dude, but he was a black belt under Henzo. And Jeremy was a kid at the time. And I'd never met him, but I did meet him, I think, but I can't remember him. And that's interesting because at the time I'd just got my purple belt and there was some purple belts there who've ended up kind of on the world stage. One's fought in the UFC. Some have gone on to be world champions and stuff at different coloured belts. They've now broken away and started Gracie Bar Ottawa, which is apparently massive. Yeah. Just thriving over there. They might have a few locations, I think. So that's going really well. I think you're right. I think you can't stay in the academy like Gracie Barra because of its structure and its organisation. you can't stay in there if you don't share the values of like the community or brotherhood, integrity, development. Like you have to be one of those people, or you get found out pretty quick.
Yeah, and I think those people that maybe they've been in for a couple of years, and then they might feel like, oh, they don't like they've naturally maybe found Gracie Barra first, and then that's their experience with jiu-jitsu. Then they, over a course of a couple of years, get to learn more about the wider jiu-jitsu community outside of Gracie Barra, and maybe they realize like, oh, actually something for me is more of like a no-gi based school, or I want to wear my own kind of uniform. I'm more kind of individualistic than want to necessarily focus on like this team kind of feel. Then I think you will sometimes, rarely, see those people's move on and try different schools, which is fine. Horses for courses, isn't it?
Happens the other way too, doesn't it? I mean, we've inherited some students who've come from academies where perhaps the organisation structure isn't as strong. And they've got to a point, I'm thinking of Mike, has got to a point where perhaps he wants to be surrounded by a positive community every day, and he wants the consistency of good training.
Mm-hmm.
And, that theme for the week where you can really kind of get your head into what you're trying to develop. So I think it runs both ways, but if you're in for a certain amount of time, just going back to the previous point, like there is that kind of, like you say, that kind of hallmark against your name where you kind of know like this guy's going to be a good guy.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Or
girl.
You've been working, you were working a lot with the Leeds Rhinos over the last 6 months as well.
That was actually in November, December, but it's created a bizarre kind of chain of events in terms of opportunities for me. So that was great because Johnny Grayson had gone out for a charity dinner, bumped into Jamie Jones Buchanan, who was the assistant coach, who actually became interim head coach in the last few months. He invited me to do a session here for some of the Rhinos. They came down, loved it. I just kind of made it up on the spot. I was quite nervous actually because these are professional athletes, right? I'm like, can you teach anything to Zane Tatavano, who's like got caps for New Zealand or whatever? But they loved it and then invited me in for the full 10-week pre-season, which was a great experience for me. And then off the back of that, then Jamie and I became quite close, good friends. And he introduced me to a company called Sodulo, and I started my public speaking, and that's kind of taken off to the point it's not been announced yet, but I've just been invited to go and speak in Reykjavik in Iceland in November. And I've also been asked to go and speak for Vistage, which is a global network, with a view to being put hopefully onto their speaker bureau list, which basically means anyone in the world could kind of pluck me out and go and speak anyway. So that's a really nice opportunity for me. And it comes from like an unrelated area. If someone says, do you want to do this? And like my answer's always, if it's helping people, my answer's always yes. And that creates opportunities.
Yeah.
So that's the learning point there for anyone. Like if you've got a chance to do something good, even if it's going to take more time out of your day or it's going to be a bit challenging or you're nervous about it, you have to do it because you don't know where it's going to lead. So that's been exciting.
For sure. Back onto that seminar kind of front, we had Braulio here, which is a big deal.
Yeah, well, I'd been out to the Reorg charity annual do on I think it was like the 27th of January. Braulio was smashed. And I remember standing at the bar with him.
So I'm hoping to get him next week, telling all the good stories.
There was him, Tom Hardy, and Braulio's missus, and we were all chatting, and Braulio said, I'm definitely going to come and do the charity thing. And so he put it in his diary, then he double booked us, and then he triple booked us. But then he drove like for miles. I think he'd gone up to Manchester with his kids to take them to Old Trafford and watch a game. And he left his family in some hotel in Manchester, drove all the way over here on his own, delivered a seminar for free. Like this is one of the biggest names in the sport globally, like a huge name who still like, this is what I love about people like that in jiu-jitsu, just gave up his time for a good cause, like, because he knows it's a good thing. And he was awesome on the mat, wasn't he? Like dropping some proper bombs and he like loved it and you could tell he was buzzing off it. So yeah, awesome. I still quoting him in a lot of the classes.
For sure.
The stuff he says, but great.
Absolutely, man. We certificate? Is that a word?
Certified.
Certified as a premium school.
Yeah. And
that was in February as well.
Well, we were the only school in the history of Gracie Barra to be certified as a premium school in their first year. You used to have to do 12 months, but they made an exception because what we built was so exceptional, in their words, not mine. And then we recertified, which wasn't straightforward, but it was good.
Got it done. End of February, we hit, mid-end February, we hit over 400 students.
Yeah, that's mental.
Got this nice picture of Wilf giving his trademark thumbs
Mr.
up.
Chips.
Mr. Chips.
Yeah, 400 was the number that we initially, when we talked about that, if you remember, we said, when we get to 400, like we knew we'd probably get there one day. Not this quick, but we thought like we were going to close the doors and make it like a really exclusive, like almost members only club. But actually what we found was, because I think that we thought that the classes would be packed, but we hadn't had a full class yet. We hadn't had a class where you can't get on still.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably because we've got a really varied, well put together schedule, which exceeds the offering of pretty much any other school, certainly in our region. We've got to be the biggest in the region, right? You'd think so.
I think so.
Got to be. Yeah. I mean, I was chatting to Lewis the other day, Professor Lewis, and I think they're around the 280 mark. But getting from 280 to 400 is a huge endeavour, isn't it? You can grow quite quick, and then the curve flattens off. And, it's a testament to the staff, really, not just us delivering classes, but, Sarah, who's the programme director, as you know, and who keeps bringing these people in and making the experience still exceptional. I think that's something we've just spoken about, haven't we, just now? Like, we can't let the standards slip.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the intention is to keep growing, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think, it can help more people in the community. I think from a personal, like the way I tend to teach best, I think the more people are in that room to a certain extent. But, I think my best classes sit around like that 25 person mark, something like 20 to 25. Yeah. There's more energy in the room. You become kind of naturally a bit more charismatic as a teacher. You kind of like become a bit more kind of confident in there.
Yeah.
You can, there's a bit more experience in the room, so people can start helping each other and stuff. I think you get better experience around that mark. With me, at least, as an instructor. I'm sure for different instructors, they're like, 30 or like 16 or something,
I think on that, just quickly on that point then, the fact that we want to continue to grow with the aim of helping as many people as possible. I think part of that comes down to our students. We should be trying to bring people in. If you've enjoyed Jiu-Jitsu and it's given you something that's you feels positive in your life, as we always say, you've kind of got, I feel like you've got an obligation to share that. If you keep it to yourself, it's kind of a selfish thing to do. I bet you're telling people about Jiu-Jitsu. I bet you're talking about it. So the next thing is to say, look, why don't I bring you along for a trial class? And that's not to grow the business for money, because we're not here to make money. We are a profitable business, but we keep putting money back in, and we've got a load of refurbishments going on in the next 2 weeks to make this place even better still. It's about helping as many people as possible, right? So if you know someone who is talking about Jitz, get them down.
We ran our first junior leadership kind of seminar enhancement kind of workshop talking thing with yourself and Benjamin Bond, fresh new blue belt. Well done, Ben.
Yeah, nice one, Ben.
How did that go?
Really good. Yeah, Ben came up from London for that, and the junior leadership program is something that we've been keen to put on since we started. Really, we knew we wanted to do something for the youth. And as we always say, we always talk about Jiu-Jitsu as a tool that we use. This place is an academy, right? So it's about developing people, and Jiu-Jitsu is just a tool that we can use. There's many other tools, and so what we wanted to do was offer up an opportunity for children aged 11 to 15 to become role models at that age, so to help the younger kids learn and to be on the mat in a position of authority almost as a coach. And then we would also give them a quarterly seminar. So the first one was about kind of goal setting and achieving great things. We've just had the most recent one, which Sarah put on about nutrition. And I heard Lakil, have you heard this? Lakil and Rakai's mum, Jess, came in. She said, I've been trying to get these two boys to eat vegetables and fruit for years. They won't eat it. I don't know what you said at the seminar, but they're having smoothies for breakfast. They're making their own smoothies, which is like amazing. And just think like the difference that makes to hear it from a different source and for it to resonate. And whatever Sarah said to them, I don't know what she said, but it obviously made a difference to them. And they've been able to combine that with their aspirations to Jiu-Jitsu to live a healthier lifestyle. Like that is like literally life-changing stuff. And those kids who are on the mat in those positions, just imagine how amazing those kids are going to be on the first. You always talk about like the first day at uni or like the first day at a job. They're just going to have so much more than any other kid. So it's a phenomenal thing, and we don't charge for it, of course, but it's brilliant.
Early in March, we also ran the Women's Self-Defense Seminar.
That was the second one, right?
That's right.
Like an annual thing we're going to do now going forward. We'd be asked to do it more often than once a year, but it's challenging from a resource perspective, given we work every weekend anyway. But that was really positive, wasn't it? We had another like 25 women, I think, came in and shouted a lot and overcame some of their anxieties and fears. And yeah, again, we just made a difference, man.
Yeah.
And those things we're just going to keep doing. We've just been approached by someone else, haven't we, Jean-Pierre, about doing something for disadvantaged youth. And again, the answer's always, if we can do it, like the answer's always yes. We're just trying to find as many ways as possible to add value to the community, man.
Yeah. I'm skipping over a lot of stuff here, but we had Majid Hage and AJ Azaram here for the seminar. You weren't able to make that one, right?
No.
But that was really cool having them here.
You made up for it, though. I think you were drinking whiskey with them till God knows what time. Where did you the next day?
4 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
That's cool.
But yeah, it was cool meeting those guys, and it's really cool because I think out of all the seminars we've done, I don't think I still see people actively trying the baseball bat show all the time. So I think it's definitely left an impact on the people that went to that seminar. And AJ is going to be in ADCC this year. I imagine Majid will be one of the top seeds to get if someone drops out, which will tend to be.
Didn't he just lose to Mickey Galvao in Brazil?
He lost to Mickey Galvao in the Brazilian trials, and then he lost to Roberto Jimenez at Polaris. But he had like 18 ADCC trials matches, and they won 16 of them with submission and that kind of thing. I like how he turns up just in like a pair of bow shorts and t-shirt. Like very cool. This was a big one. We had skipping maybe a bit far ahead there. We also ran we had Professor Gaz down here for a little kind of Friday night, and we raised a load of money for one of his students up in Middlesbrough, who, unfortunately, wife and daughter has cancer. So another kind of just great thing about Gracie Baja in that way, not just GBRL, but again, looking at that wider community, being able to support people from like different academies, even here in the UK, was a really nice thing to do, I think.
For sure, man.
We had a lot of competition success in that early May time when we went down to the Empire, like we're going to do this weekend, in fact. But we showed up with a real kind of strong team, I think, for that one.
There's a lot of people, weren't there?
Yeah.
We were ranked, I think, number 1, weren't we? Until pretty much the last.
Yeah, I think it was just into the end, because we did pretty much exclusively gi.
Yeah.
So I think big Scramble. I think KBT. Scramble finished ahead of us, so we were second overall. I think they had competitors in gi and no gi that day.
Which I think it's a great achievement,
yeah.
To be at the top, and we did in the English as well. We were on the first day, we were at the top.
Yeah.
To be, not only our students going out there and performing, and as I said last night to the comp team, I ain't interested in the results. I'm really interested in how you perform and how you get through that challenging process for competition. But it is nice at the end of things to know that the stuff you're teaching your students, one, they're taking on board and applying, but 2, that it bloody well works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like we're going out and winning divisions, white belt, blue belt, male, female, adult, master, senior, like across the kids, across the whole board. So it's great.
We don't know if you got to see many of these, but we helped Andy Bone do some university kind of dissertation thing, and interviewed a lot of the parents here about how their child's grown throughout doing jiu-jitsu, which was really interesting to hear from them.
His dissertation's just on the library there, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you can read it if they want.
For sure. We put out quite a lot of good content around like the 60-second Jitz fixes. I think having a nice focus on those people are like on the real basics of jiu-jitsu. for those people that are coming in, or even when you've been here for a little while, I think there's something to glean from that kind of stuff, because you can never cast a full wide net and cover all those kind of things in jiu-jitsu. So I think we've helped a lot of people there.
Yeah, man. We've got a new series coming out about terminology, haven't we?
Yeah, that in fact is out. The second one is out today. In fact, it'll probably be, it'll launch on YouTube in about 2 hours from now.
Nice.
Yep, so it's all about the terminology of BJJ. So if you come in for your first class, you don't know what an underhook is, you don't know what good base is, you don't know what a tap is, you know. So just helping those people with those kind of, again, going back to one of the early podcasts we did, that first class fears. Like, what are the things that if you're coming in, are you going to be worried about? I don't know, like the lingo or whatever it is, you know? Yeah. What's that? Just for time's sake, we'll skip forward. We had our summer gathering just this past weekend. Yeah,
I mean, again, another great event. I was saying to someone as well, I was handing out, shout out to Rash, by the way, for the curry, which was phenomenal. If you liked Rash's curry, I have to plug him because he's going to start a little business around selling it, I think. You can order it and pay for it from here and stuff. But that was really great. And it was lovely to promote some more people who deserve it. But I was saying to someone, I feel really proud on the mat often when I see a student doing something that I've taught them, or becoming more confident, or whatever it is. But nothing makes me more proud than actually when we're off the mats and you've got 50 or 60 people stood around just talking. And I was like, again, and it happened on the Christmas one, and it happened again. There was a moment when I kind of stood and just surveyed the room, and the sense of fulfillment and joy was really something that I can't describe. Like, it was really a deep, deep sense of achievement. And I would put it up there, like, honestly, deeply mean this, with any of my previous successes in the military and in my previous career in the intelligence fields of the MOD and things like that. You know, intelligence gathering and stuff. It's right up there, because I look at all those people and I think, you guys would not even know each other if it weren't for this place. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine if I didn't wander in here in my flip-flops in lockdown with crazy hair, sign the lease, take a punt, and if you hadn't have jumped on board with it and we hadn't been up a ladder on one leg trying to scrape mold off the ceiling and paint it on a weekend and on a night, and if we hadn't kind of thrown in all of my fucking savings that I had to make it work, and then we hadn't kick-started it like we did, none of these people would probably have met. That's remarkable.
Yeah. Especially when it's just like things get organized outside of us, you know, like Sarah Haig had like all girls leaving do.
I know, man. Why was I invited to that? Like, come on.
You know, like you'll just hear like a few guys met up and watched the UFC, or they went and you see them having a drink at behind.
Kids
like,
playing together.
You too.
Yeah, man. But that's the thing, right? So the friendships that our students are creating are meaningful and deep friendships. They're not just like, oh, there's a dude I'd see at the gym. It's like, no, bring your kids around. We're going to go on a play date, or I'm going to drop the kids off so you can go out. Like, that is like good, strong. In fact, I guarantee there'll be some people in the community here whose friendships that they've made here will have overtaken the friendships that they've got outside of jiu-jitsu that they've had for decades.
Look at when Katie Lamb blew back her speech there of like, you know, Philippa, Dan and Ali's wife, had like Katie's boys, and they're having like a little play date.
So cool.
And this weekend, me and Dan Ali and the boys went to the cinema. You know,
it's so cool. Yeah. And I think that those are the moments when I feel most fulfilled about this place. It's not the jiu-jitsu, it's the community, man, and it makes me really happy.
For sure. So we've got some timetable changes coming up, which hopefully are going to be. Well, they're pretty much all positive, really, I think, for everyone, to be honest.
Definitely, man. So we listened to the feedback, you know, when we did the feedback form, which we always do every year, to try and get a sense of what we could try and improve for you. And a few people come back and said they really struggled to get to the GB2 at 6 o'clock on a Monday. So we've now added a GB2 at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday, and a GB2 at 6 o'clock on a Friday.
That's right.
And a GB2 on a Wednesday lunchtime.
That's right.
So there's a number of other GB2 gi classes that you can come to, which is amazing. We've seen the percentage of our students progress. And so the largest proportion of our students are now in the GB2 program. And so that's why we've put that on. And we've tried to make it so every day of the week and at different times, there's a GB2 class you can go to. Still GB1, of course. There's still GB3 no-gi. But we've moved, the biggest change is the lunchtime classes. The reason we've moved these around is purely and simply because I'm not going to be here in a few months' time. And we want to make one change now.
Because he's going rogue, it's not like he's got cancer or
something. Yeah, that's right. Not about to die,
but
hopefully not. So we wanted to make one change now that would carry us through till like spring next year when I get back, hopefully get back from rowing this ocean. And we didn't want to have to make another change for you. We want you to be able to plan. So the changes are the lunchtime classes, instead of being on a Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, are now going to be on a Monday, GB1, Wednesday, GB2, and Thursday, GB1. There won't be 2 classes on a Thursday. Coach T is going to run the Monday and Thursday classes. The nice thing about that is it means that we've still got our morning classes on Tuesday and Thursday. So you've got classes during the day on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The only class you haven't got during the day is Friday now. But you've still got your Friday night class and you've got the GB2. We've got Professor Khalil coming in starting on the 10th of August. So these schedule changes are going to take effect from the 8th of August when we come back. Professor Khalil is going to be teaching all of the classes on a Wednesday. So he'll be teaching the lunchtime GB2, which is great. He'll be overseeing the live training. He'll be teaching he'll be on the mat for the kids' classes, but I'm hoping that Coach Kev can lead those classes for us. And then Professor Clay will be teaching the GB1 and then GB2 on live training on the Wednesday night, which is great because you get another black belt that I've known for over 10 years and really trust. GB through and through, great guy, great jiu-jitsu to help you develop. And the reason we've tried to do it that way is to give Coach T a day off in the week when I'm away, because we literally 5 minutes before this just signed the paperwork to officially anoint him as a director in this business and a business owner, which is a phenomenal achievement for him. How old are you, 30?
27.
27, wow. 27, and to own a business or part of a business at 27 with a pathway to own more of it, I think is amazing, man. Like, tell me how many other 27-year-olds are directors of business and own part of it. It's like, it's phenomenal. So well done. And so it gives you a day off in the week to kind of recover, maybe do some digital work, but step away from the mats. And then we know that when you're back in on those Mondays, the Tuesdays, the Thursdays, the Fridays, the Saturdays, it's going to be amazing stuff.
Absolutely. What are some practical things people can be doing over the summer break? Because I think it'd be a shame, I think, for anyone, any student to think like, there's no jiu-jitsu over the 2 weeks. I think it's like a time they should be like, good, right, no jiu-jitsu for 2 weeks. Here's the things I can do.
Rest.
See your family.
Or reintroduce yourself to your family. Well, the big one, like, I've been thinking a lot about perspective recently. And, you can't control what happens. You can't control the fact that we're closed. That's our decision. I mean, it's for a good decision because we need a break and the academy needs to be refitted. Coach Kev's now in charge of the facility and he does a great job doing that. We've got some stuff planned. But it's a great opportunity for you to just to step back from jiu-jitsu for a couple of weeks. I know for some people, it's such a part of their routine that they're going to miss it. But you have to change the perspective on that and say, this is a good opportunity for me to fully heal. So my aching finger, I've got aching fingers at the minute, like that finger's twice the size of that one. Just from gripping, like let that all heal up. Take some time away. Still study jiu-jitsu, still watch it, still immerse yourself in it. Still meet your friends outside of jiu-jitsu. But just take a couple of weeks off the mat. It's better for you. And then you come back in August and you will think, I've forgotten everything. But I bet you, because this used to happen to me all the time, the first week back are some of your best rolls. You just seem to have taken another lift up because you've had the break. So see it as a positive thing. It is positive.
I think, sometimes jiu-jitsu gets likened to a drug as well. And you kind of become, like your tolerance to a drug becomes, let's say you're doing whatever it is, you only take more and more to get the same kind of high. Yeah. I think after a little break, you then like rediscover that same, like, your jiu-jitsu high. It's going to be like, it's going to feel, feel really appreciative, I think.
Well, that first Monday back, so August the 8th, Monday is going to be carnage. Yeah, I mean, the lunchtime class, there'll be 30 people on the mat. The night time, there'll be 30, 40 people on the mat. Those are the nights you will remember. So see it as a positive, take some time away, stay connected with everybody. Please accept that, myself included, but the team here, coaching staff and the staff, need a break as well. So if you've got any pressing issues, by all means contact us, but you may not get a response straight away. If it can wait until we get back, please let it wait. Let's have everyone just to decompress a little bit and then come back all guns blazing. Remember, we don't close in summer holidays for kids. We don't close in Easter holidays. We'll close October half term. We only close for 2 weeks in summer and 2 weeks in winter. And everyone's billed monthly, and some of those months are 5-week months. So it all works out equal anyway.
For sure. And then I need to restart this camera before it goes off. For the look forward, for the next, till November the 18th, is it?
18th and 19th is the winter gathering. Get that in your diary now.
Yeah. What we got in the plans? We've got, straight away as we got coming back, we've got the picnic.
14th of August, bring your kids, dogs, cakes.
Mats.
We're going to be at the bandstand by the Upper Lake at Roundy Park. And that's just a chance for us all, after the summer break, to come back together, share some food, have a laugh. We'll have trained for a week then, so everyone will be buzzing again, and just resets us, doesn't it, as a community? It's also my birthday, 7 days later, so bring your cakes and chocolates.
September, I don't think we've got anything. We've got like a little
Interclub potentially on the 28th
of
August. It doesn't slow down, so we've got that to do. I think there's 25 adults, 5 kids who want to do it, something like that. So we're going to run that. I spoke to Lewis, we're definitely going to do that. 28th of August, Bank Holiday Sunday. And then Professor Victor had promised he'd come and do a seminar for us in support of the charity, which would be phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Maybe have Professor Stefan doing another couple of sessions or something.
Yeah, we've spoken to Professor Stefan to see if he wants to do. His son's going to start training with us, and we're going to support him to be able to join our adult program. He's a big guy, 85 kilos, 15, trained for a long time. So get him in the adults program, and then as a kind of payback, Professor Stefan's kind of, I think, agreed. Hopefully, he agrees to maybe put a seminar on again, free of charge, but any donations will go to the Atlantic Grappler campaign. On that, we've raised as a campaign, I've got time to say this?
Yeah.
150,000 quid, nearly 145,000 quid. So what we're going to do, in case you weren't aware, is we're going to buy a piece of equipment for the paediatric intensive care unit, which is why I started in the first place, for about 65, 70 grand right now. So there's a bid gone in, and we'll deliver that a year early, which is amazing. And that's my kind of personal thing ticked off. And then the Atlantic Grappler as a brand, as a charity campaign, is going to continue year on year, and it's going to support the Leeds NHS Trust more broadly. Initially, it's going to point towards Rodborough M&D Centre, but it could be cancer care, it could be whatever. And so if you want to do something good next year and you want to raise some money, you can raise money for the Atlantic Grappler campaign, and that money will go and help some worthy cause in Leeds hospitals, which is brilliant. So as a community, once a year at least, I want us to come together to do some fundraising effort. Now that could be we all go cycle from, God knows where to where, or we try and roll at every GB gym in the country, or whatever it is. Like, we might do something together as a team. That'd be quite cool.
But yeah, that'd be really cool. And then there's like this little bits and bobs. You've got a little week away doing isolation training and stuff.
Solitude training, yeah. I think the thing for people just to, and I'm sure everyone's aware now that I'm rowing across this ocean on my own and in less than 150 days, it's just to be mindful that, my presence in the academy may, or it will, become less and less as we get close to that date. There's lots that I need to get right before I go and do this. I'm doing it solo, so there's a lot of risk and there's a lot of unknown, and I've got to get prepared for it. So that's why we've brought in the new coaches. So there'll be no issue in terms of the schedule. That will be the same, but you can expect to see me slightly less. And then when we come back as a big look forward, so let's think about March, April next year, what you can expect to see is a GB3 GI program, which I will run, and me back on the mats a few days a week. And basically the way we want to structure it is GB1 will be run by our own blue belt coaches. GB2 will be primarily run by Coach T, maybe a little bit myself. And then the GB3 program will be run by me. And so what that does is gives you a real incentive to maintain that commitment to jiu-jitsu, because the more experienced you become, the access to more experienced coaches you're going to get. And that's the right way to do it, I think. It's lovely for people to see me in GB1, for me to teach them like a hip escape, but there's better value for blue belts, purple belts to get that experience, I think.
For sure. All right. Any closing thoughts before we end this one?
Yeah, so I just wanted to thank everybody who's played a part in the academy over the last 6 months. The new people who've joined, the people who are still in there. We've lost a lot of members. We lose 20 members a month. 20 people disappear out the door. We grow around a similar number, maybe a little bit more. Stay in the game. So if you've been here for 6 months and you're kind of teetering on the edge and you're thinking, I'm not sure I'm going to come back, just come back. You know, you've got to stay on the path. Most people who leave, I honestly believe, at some point in time regret it. And when they talk about jiu-jitsu, and they're going to talk about it more because it's become a bigger and bigger thing. I used to train jiu-jitsu, man. Yeah, I miss it a little bit, but I kind of packed it in. Why'd you pack it in? Oh, I don't know. That's bad, man. So that's all I would say. Big thank you to everyone, and let's make sure the second half of the year is even better than the first half. What about you?
I just hope everyone can have a really good summer break. I think there's lots of stuff to do over the summer break, so don't waste it. Like, you know, work on your flexibility or some strength training, to see your friends and family. Don't talk about jiu-jitsu for a little bit, because you do become insufferable with around them. So give them a break from that too. Yeah, have a great time. I'm going to have a great time. I'm doing more Jitz, actually, if anything.
Yeah, you go to Portugal,
yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, we're doing more Jitz, if anything. I'll be coming back ready to go.
I think I'm going to do the summer camp next year. So I'd like to see as many people as possible maybe next year going out to Portugal. The last thing I'd say, that's a really good point to you about just not talking about jiu-jitsu at home. If you've got a partner at home or children at home and you're disappearing out the door 3 times a week to come and do this for you, just remember that it is making you a better person at home. It's making you see yourself a little bit differently, maybe a bit more understanding, maybe a bit more resilient, confident. But I think you ought to thank those partners for the geese hanging up around the house, and the fact that you're not there, and the fact you always talk about jiu-jitsu, and you're watching YouTube instead of BBC One now. And, you know, go and buy your wife or your husband or whatever a bunch of flowers, or, you know, whatever, and go say thank you for letting you come to jiu-jitsu, because it's a great gift from them as well. Yeah, I think people shouldn't just pass up on that. I think you should definitely really do that, and give those people who support you in your life just a little thank you message, because it does. Jiu-jitsu is, or can be, all consuming. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a drug for a lot of people. All right. Well, until after the summer break, guys, when I hope I have lots of cool podcasts for you. See you next time. See you guys.